What the hell's going on, Retro Freaks? Today we start a new mini-series, if you will. We've got a couple other ones rolling. But this is all about demo discs. So in the comment section below, jump in there. Do you remember demo discs? Do you have a favorite demo disc that you had ever played? But what we're going to do in this is we're going to throw in demo discs at random. We have not looked at the games on them, and we're just going to kind of go into them blind and review them. But this is also a way to historically kind of preserve and capture this stuff, because not a lot of people have a ton of demo discs laying around.
So the first one, I grabbed a random Dreamcast demo disc. I think the top says September of 2000, Volume 7. That's all I know about this. I didn't look at the games. I don't know anything. We have it fired up. So now we're just going to go through with you, figure out what's on this, what are the games doing, what do the games offer, can you play the whole thing, can you play the first level, whatever. And then at the end, we'll tell you, is it a good demo disc?
Yeah, because it was a big part of gaming. It's something I feel like we kind of miss.
Oh, it was so cool.
And we did a long time ago, we did like the death of demo discs or whatever, but now we're just going to, and for almost our own interest.
It's for us.
Dive into these things, but you want to grab the wheel because you got the Player 1 controller. I've got Player 2. I don't even know if there's anything two-player
So it looks like when you fire this up, it just immediately takes you to the browser version 2.0.
Okay.
Which I don't even know what that means. I think you could go online with the Dreamcast.
Yes, you could.
I don't know.
You could.
So you scroll over, you got Virtua Tennis.
Boom!
Okay, pretty badass.
Okay, that's a great game.
That's a great game.
Okay.
Then you got Mag Force Racing. I've never heard of that.
I have never played that.
Mag Force Racing. Okay, not bad, not
Maybe
bad.
my favorite.
Arrow Wings 2 Airstrike. Again, never heard of it. Dude, we're playing this 24 years later, and what if we discover a new favorite game? You don't know.
Awesome. I mean, we've got stuff on PS2, we've got stuff on Dreamcast, PS1, original Xbox, and every one of these is just going to be random.
It's going to be random. Next up, you got Sydney 2000 and Olympic Games. Olympic Games could be fun. I like how in the background you notice there's like a little Dreamcast accessories.
Yeah, there's the Rumble Pack, and then the next one's the memory card, the VMU.
And then you got Tokyo Extreme Racer 2. Again, haven't played that one at all. Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. There's a freaking Sonic guy. Rush 2014. Damn, this is a lot of games.
2049. That game's one of the best racing games on the N64, so I'm guessing this one is fire. So let's...
Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Let's go. That's a dime right there.
And web browser. Those are so those are the demo games.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna jump in. We'll have some B-roll and play all these, and then let you know what the games offer on the demo disc, because it could be the first level or it could be all, like, we'll let you know, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Sounds good. All right, we are back after a crash course with this demo disc. This is September 2000, Volume 7.
Yes, we described it at random.
From the Dreamcast magazines, and we'll throw some B-roll in here if we actually have this magazine. I do have some Dreamcast magazines, but I don't know if this is from one of those corresponding magazines. But as we're doing this mini-series, we want to review this thing. I don't know exactly how all these are going to go, but what did it do for your nostalgia?
So what's crazy is I don't have much nostalgia at all for the Dreamcast, because growing up I didn't have a Dreamcast. I didn't know anybody I didn't even know the Dreamcast existed. But I am nostalgic for Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
And that's one of the demo games on this, so I was like, this is fantastic. There were other games that I had never heard of, never played. There was 8 games on this, technically 9. We'll get into that in a little bit. We just learned about that. There's 9 games, but I have nostalgia for it, but I thought it was really cool.
It is cool, but I guess for me, the nostalgia factor when I popped it in was rather low, because nothing about the menu or anything made me feel like the time.
Yeah, there was no loading graphic or it was just kind of a menu.
Pretty Magoo. There was a little bit of a graphic of what the magazine cover maybe was, but it wasn't, something that blew me away. But now let's talk about the games, because ultimately would this demo disc make you want to buy a Dreamcast? So, the first game that you come to, or the first thing that it launches with, is that web browser.
Web browser, which at first you're like, oh, in 2024.
Yeah, what am I going to do with this?
What am I going to do with this? But if you click on the web browser, there's an additional game. There's a game called SEGA Swirl.
Yeah, and it's the full game, I think.
It's the full game, which is badass, and this is like a puzzle combination game where you just match combos.
Yeah.
It's really cool that it works on the internet.
Yeah.
Even though we're not connected to the internet. So that's kind of cool. It comes with an extra game. I didn't even realize that was a part of it until I was reading the box.
Yeah.
And at the bottom it says SEGA Swirl. I was like, where's SEGA Swirl? It's
I
on
want
the
to try
web
getting
browser.
Dreamcast online in 2024 and see what happens, but
That'd be wild.
we didn't do that for this video. That's how you play SEGA Swirl. But then the first actual Dreamcast game you come to is Virtua Tennis.
Oh, Virtua Tennis, dude. We love Virtua Tennis 2K2.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorite games of all time on the Dreamcast. I've never played the first one, but pretty damn similar.
I think it's still to this day one of the best sports game engines that was ever built, which is crazy to think about, but those who know.
Yeah.
I've said that before in videos, and we get people in the comments that are like, yes, it is one of the best sports games ever made. It allows you to play two-player. You can only play as the US guy and the Russian guy,
so
but it does show you the rest of the cast.
So you can only do arcade mode, and you can only pick Russian or USA. It lets you scroll through it, and then the bottom line is question marks. I think those are probably unlockables if you get the full game. And then you can only do one match. Yeah. And then when the one match over, it takes you to the menu again. So it is fun.
So you're only going to get a serve. One person's going to get a serve.
So, but if you got this as a demo disc and you had like a friend and you were a kid, you could take turns and be like, okay, I'm going to be rushing this time, take turns serving. But it sucks that it's not like best of 5.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you won, game over.
Yeah, and then as you scroll to the right, you got Mag Force Racing.
This is a game I had never heard of. It's only a one-player game.
It wants to be like an F-Zero Wipeout type of scenario.
It's a futuristic racer that is very slow.
And it's just bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's only one player.
It's very floaty. It's very spongy. You get to do a full lap, which is cool, but or a full thing with 3 laps. But after a while, you're like, okay, I get it. It's very slow.
Then we go into Arrow Wings 2, which I'm just not a flight sim type of guy. Maybe this is really good. I don't care to have to push up to go down and down to go up.
It's a flight simulator. Yeah. I bet there's a huge community for people that love those types of games. So you might like it. It just didn't click for me, and I was like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, you're like, this ain't making me want to buy a Dreamcast.
Yes, halfway through this, I was like, dude, these demo discs are really cool, but also I feel like these demos possibly hurt sales.
Yeah.
You know, like you got this demo disc and you were like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy Mag Force Racing.
Yeah.
So, but other games, it probably would make you buy it. Yeah. So you got to give and take.
We're kind of in the dog shit pocket right now of this demo disc, but it does get better. So then we go to Sydney 2000. You can only run the 110-meter hurdles. Trash.
Yeah, you only get the arcade thing.
I'm not even going to say much about it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You run and jump but you're like, okay, I get it. I'm sure the other events in the game are maybe funner, but that it was bad.
Tokyo Extreme Racer 2, I think it's the second one. Graphics are great. Driving seems great. I don't really know what's really going on, and I don't know what's so extreme.
It's only one player.
What's extreme?
I don't know. You can pick from 8 different cars, which is cool.
That's pretty extreme.
You have health bars, and so you have a health bar and your enemy has a health bar. And I thought, oh, is it like a burnout? You got to crash into it? No, that hurts you. But if you drive ahead of them, then that hurts them. And then eventually you'll just win, and then you keep going. And I was just like, it plays and feels good, but what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand. There was no finish line. It was fine.
It's just a demo. And then the last of the middle of the shit sandwich is the UFC Fighting Championship. I'm not going to say it's horrible. I don't think there's a really good counter system in it. I don't think there's a really good defense system.
Yes.
So what happens is it turns into a butt masher, but it is 2-player.
Yeah,
on the demo.
You only get versus mode and it's 2-player, but you can only pick from 2 people. You can pick from Tito Ortiz and Frank Shamrock. And that's it. That's all you get. And then it's versus, and you only get 1 bout.
Yeah.
So if I KO you, it's over. So then it's like, okay, we did 2 rounds of it.
It's kind of fun.
It was. It looked cool. Like the graphics were cool. I'm sure if you are into boxing or UFC games and you got the full roster, it'd probably be badass. But it was fine.
Well, we take an uptick here though. So as of right now, I'm gonna say this demo disc at Virtua Tennis would have maybe had me nibbling. Maybe want me to fucking nug on buying a Dreamcast. But then we get into San Francisco Rush 2049, and if you know anything about our channel, you know we're suckers for midway games.
Yes.
This game is kind of built on that engine, I feel like, that spawned, you know, your Hydro Thunders and some Cruisin' World type stuff. More Hydro Thunder than that. But rad-ass racing game, and you can play 2-player, and you get a full race, but you only get one car.
You can only pick one car, so you're driving the same car. It plays great, it looks great, it's really fun.
Yeah.
There is a really weird mechanic. When you take air, you can bust out wings.
Yeah.
And I've never played a racing game that has wings. It's really hard to control those. So you crash and burn.
Good luck.
It's kind of fun though, because I'm like, oh, I'm flying.
Yeah, it's a really sweet
I fall
game.
with style. I wish there was more to it, but it's a demo.
This game falls, and I'm not an expert of this series, but I know San Francisco 2049 is always at the top of the heap for people's N64 racing games. And from what I remember, the Dreamcast one looks a lot better. I think it's the probably optimum way to play the game. Again, not an expert. Somebody in there may say, "Oh, the N64 one was so much better." Maybe it is, but for being on this demo, that game would have made me
that game,
want to get a Dreamcast, and it makes me want to play it on the Dreamcast right now.
It makes me want to get that game.
And then we round out the lineup. I'm just going to turn the floor over to this guy because I talked, even just in the room, I said, how about you play this demo, Mr. Tony Hawk? Take the floor.
So you get the demo of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which, if you guys know, I'm a big fan of the whole franchise, the whole series. You get the original game, and it just starts you off immediately at the warehouse. You get the first level. You don't even get to pick a skater. I'm guessing you're Tony Hawk, and that's it. You got 5 objectives. You got to find the secret tape, collect skate, knock over the boxes, high score, blah, blah, blah. But you can infinitely play it. You get 2 minutes, and it loops.
Yeah.
So you could potentially get really good at the game only on this level.
Yep.
I will say, I've been playing a ton of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, the full version on PS2. This game felt slow in comparison. I don't know if that's fair to say. I can't remember if the game is just slow in general, but I did have fun with it, and it still controls and plays how it should.
Yeah, the Dreamcast version is dope.
Yeah,
it really is.
It was fun. It is a demo, but it makes me want more. So out of the 9 games,
there's 3 rippers, I feel like.
there were 3 good ones.
And there are 3 games that I think you would have to own if you had a Dreamcast. We have a Dreamcast. We have the 3 said games that are the standouts, and that's Virtua Tennis, San Francisco Rush 2049, and the Tony Hawk game. I think Tony Hawk 1, obviously with the remake out, it makes it, which one's worth going back to? PS1 one is great.
Yep,
I honestly think the N64 one's great.
They're fun.
And the Dreamcast one, though, I think does stand out. It looks really, really good in comparison. I'm used to the dodgy N64 one. That was just my Tony Hawk as a kid. I'm not even advocating that it's the best in the series. I'm not. But that's what I played. I know what I just seen you play. I was like, damn, it looks a lot better than what I played as a kid.
Yeah, it graphically looked better. This demo disc was really cool, but there was dog shit.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's how demo discs are going to go. They're going to have rippers to get you to get the demo disc or to get you to play it, and then be like, oh, I'm curious about these games, and then be like, not going to buy them.
This is going to be a really fun series. I just hope that the nostalgia's flowing for you guys, seeing the menu, wanting to know what they were trying to sell us in September
of 2000.
2000 on the Sega Dreamcast. This is Volume 7. We're not going to go in any sort of chronological order because we only have certain demo discs. Who knows? Whatever we grab on the next one, and maybe another Dreamcast one, could be a PlayStation one, could be a PS2 one. You never know what you're going to see when we open up the vault and we travel back in time on this demo disc journey.
It's so fun, dude.
Thank you for joining us on episode 1, Nostalgia Middle of the Road, 3 rippers on Volume 7 of the Sega Dreamcast Demo Disc. We'll catch you guys on the next. Welcome to the new series. We appreciate you tuning in, subscribe to the channel, and hanging out with the one and only Gaming Off the Grid.